All right, here we are for major scales. Major scales. Now, we need to know a couple of things for major scales. We need to know, first of all, what notes we're going to play in these major scales. That's very important. But we also need to know what fingers are we going to use to play those notes. Now, up to this point, we've pretty much been limited to a 5-finger position. That's really going to limit us whenever we need to play a 2-octave scale. We can't just grow extra fingers, and this is just wrong. We're not just going to bounce on one finger up and down once we get to the end. So to do scales, you need to be able to do 2 new things, and those things are these. First, we have to have what is called a thumb passing. Now, some people call this thumb under. I don't like that. The idea is you have this choo-choo train that is your fingers, and then the thumb goes through the tunnel like a choo-choo train. And when you do that, you shoot that thumb through so that it can get underneath the fingers. Well, I prefer to think of it not as going underneath a tunnel, but as coming together. Let's see if I can figure out the angle to make that work. Coming together into a point. So the fingers start like this, and then as you move, they come together like you're going to put your hand into a cookie jar. So here the fingers come together. They're all real close. Finger 1 is really just pretty much alongside finger 3, and so it's not so hard to get to the next note. Okay, so we have in a lot of places where we're going to pass the thumb after 3. And what I say there is 1, 2, 3, pass 1. It's like finger 1 is passing finger 3, like it's on a highway and it's just passing that other car. It's moving faster than finger 3 is, and it passes. So 2, 3, pass 1. The other thing that happens is 4, pass 1. Okay, so watch that here. 3, 4 comes right alongside. 1 comes right alongside 4 and passes it. So we have 3 pass 1 and 4 pass 1. 3 pass 1, and we're at the top. Now, the other thing we need to do is the opposite. And that's where the hand comes over the thumb. So this is a finger crossing, and I'll say 1 cross 3. Now notice, I don't just cross finger 3 and leave my other fingers over here. Instead, my entire set of fingers, my entire hand, all 4 fingers, cross over where the thumb is until such time as the finger I'm aiming for, finger 3, lines up with the note that I'm aiming for. We have 2 ways that that's going to happen. We're going to have a 1 cross 4 and a 1 cross 3. Okay? So we have thumb passing, 1, 2, 3, pass 1, and we have crossing, 1 cross 3. Same thing happens in the left hand, 1 cross 3, 1 cross 4, and then 4 pass 1, 3 pass 1. Okay, so that's the mechanics of what has to happen in the fingering. Now for some theory behind the scale fingering choices. Every single scale is an alternation of war and peace. What? I'll do it again. Every single scale, the fingers alternate between war and peace. War and peace. What? All right. 3. It looks like a W. That's war. And when we add finger 1 to it, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 fingers. War fingers. For war. They rhyme. Peace. Like peace, brother. I'm a hippie. Peace. And we add this to it. This is a group of 3 fingers, and 3 rhymes with peace. Right? So every single scale fingering is an alternation of war and peace. It doesn't matter what scale you play. You always alternate between the peace fingers and the war fingers. Every time. Does not matter. It just so happens that the scales we are learning for this first set, the group 1 scales, the right hand fingering starts peace, war, peace, war. Now if that's all I had, I could play E major scale until the cows come home. I could start here and go peace, war, peace, war, peace, war, peace, war, peace. I'm running out of the frame. Okay, you get the point. Now, at some point, I might want to end this scale. Let's say I'm done with a scale here. Instead of passing to 1 and then immediately crossing over to 4, which is a legitimate thing to do if you wanted to try it, we're going to just cap it. So a capper is not part of war or peace. It is just a finger of convenience that ends or begins a scale. In this case, my capper is finger 5. I'm going to cap it with finger 5, and then I reverse the process. War, peace, war, peace. So to review, in the right hand, for the 5 scales we're going to learn, C, G, D, A, and E, the fingering is, in the right hand, peace, war, capper 5, and then on the way down, war, peace, okay? So, let's play the E major scale. We have peace, so I'm going to 3, and then I pass 1. Now, we just did peace, so I'm in war. Gonna go to finger 4 and pass 1. Now I'm in peace, go to finger 3, pass 1. Now I'm in war. Go to finger 4. I'm ready to end. I'll cap it with 5. Coming back down on war 4. This is that war 4 group, and then peace 3 group, and then the war 4 group, and the peace 3 group. All right. In the left hand, we start with the finger of convenience, the capper 5, and we go capper 5, war 4, cross to peace 3, war 4, peace 3. And then we're coming back down, peace 3. Now we're in war. Finished with war. We're going to go to peace. Done with peace. Going to war. And then finish with capper 5. Okay. So there are 2 sets of thoughts you need to have. Set of thought number 1, what notes am I playing? Set of thought number 2, what fingers am I using to play it? So here are the 2 thought processes that can help with that. Solfege. I know do to re is a whole step. Re to mi is a whole step. Mi to fa is a half step. Do to sol, fa to sol, whole step. Sol to la, whole step. La to ti, whole step. Ti to do. Re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So one way I can keep track of the notes I need to play is to keep track of the solfege. Do, re, mi, and all that entails, the whole steps and half steps that are implied by the solfege. But that's not all. I also have to get the notes. So the other thing I can do is war and peace. Only in this scale, it's actually peace and war. So you go peace. We're done with peace. War. We're done with war. Peace. We're done with peace. War. Capper 5. Coming down. War. We go to peace. Then war and peace. And I say those words along so that I know that I have to switch words. If I'm saying peace, I know I'm done with peace because I'm on 3. And because I've been saying peace, the next word is war. And when war, I got to go all the way to 4. Since I'm on 4 war, I need to finish that off and go to peace 3. And now I'm going to go to war 4. Capper coming down, war for 4. What am I crossing over to? Well, I just said war, so it's 3 for peace, war, and peace. Left hand, capper 5, war, peace 3, war 4, peace 3, war 4, done with war 4 piece, going to 3, going to 4 capper 5. So that is the basics of scales. We are going to come back and I'm going to show you the scale for E major, A, and then we'll start with E major because E major has a way of helping you enforce the fingering and you know whether you're doing it right or wrong. So come back, we'll go over E major, and then we'll go through the other 4 scales in this group, C, G, D, A, E, in order, and we'll have a chance to practice them. So, come back soon.